All right, so I just gave you an update. Yay! What's been going on the past month? Although I did do a couple of videos, but right now it's almost done. I'm getting my last test is in 2 days, so I'm kind of like revamping what I learned this month. I'm getting deeper into the syntax. We're explaining more things to each other. Love, friendship, fun, and all that good stuff. Everyone in that school is in that camp is about like 15 years younger than me, man. And it makes no difference because I really am this way, regardless of age, if they were bigger or younger, even when they're like fucking 73. Uh, I love my cousin's daughter, man. I miss her, but she doesn't allow me to have a relationship with her. I wanted to say it out loud. It's not like she says no. It literally is. Anytime I try to have a conversation with her, she just jumps in because she wants to be included. Fuck, man. New age parenting really comes. I don't know why I'm telling you this. It's just feelings, right? New age parenting really comes with a lot of like, I read enough shit to know what I'm talking about bullshit. Anyways, opening your mouth is real. Once you hear yourself, everything changes. You either back off or you thrust forward. Uh, I'm not gonna explain what happens when you actually open your mouth, but I'm probably gonna point at the reality of what it is to like say something. Like, be careful what you say. We have an expression in Arabic: "لسانك حصانك إن صنته صانك وإن خنته خانك." And that says is like your actual tongue is your horse. Hisan is horse. If you sharpen it, it will sharpen you. And if you release it, it will hurt you. And if you betray it, it will betray you. And the idea behind this expression, it's actually pretty good like transition to this expression. But the beauty of this expression is the fact that you are uh, they're allowing you to engage with the tool that makes the sounds come out of us. And it's funny because we never notice how the tongue kind of comes out. There's just like one episode in Bleach where somebody is like calling in his attack, and his attack is so long he bites his tongue, so it comes out half power. I'm laughing right now because I just randomly remembered it. But if even in anime, if you are yelling an attack, it shows the strength of the attack, right? It strengthens the attack. Miyamoto Musashi, in his book of Five Rings, discusses that your voice in battle is very important, and your what you speak, how you speak, and when it comes out expresses your spirit. And so, as Arabs, we have like in this, your tongue, what you say is going to basically is literally exploring towards the world, is exploring how it actually comes back to you. Is I want to say dictating because that's the last thing we want to do is make statements, right? But it's dictating your intention in a very verbal way. There's a lot of things that kind of like feel the same. So if we are to actually move forward and listen and have allowed ourselves to kind of like say something. Because here, what I wrote is like once you hear yourself, everything changes. So everything does change the minute you say something. It can't be helped. It came out, right? It came out. And like people have all sorts of like approaches to it. Slip of the tongue, intrusive thoughts. You allowed your intrusive thoughts to kind of like come out. They're all expressions of like, I shouldn't have said that. I could have said it differently. I could have said it better. Whatever it is. Anna, for me, I always say, ask why did I say it? And then once I figure out the reason, I kind of restate it. And once I restate it in a way that allows me to kind of like establish a certain dynamic with it, it becomes easier to just, I don't know, it becomes easier for me to express it better and differently next time. At the very least, by always asking myself, why did I say this? Or why did this thing come out? Or why was it relevant enough for me to kind of like jump and go like, this has to be said? When I ask myself these questions, it always comes with a more clear answer of what kind of individual I am. And I am a big believer of words because like every thought is words basically combined differently, and every intention is expressed through the thoughts that we have in our head. And I explained the mind map many times before. I'll gladly do it again if anyone feels like it. So overall, it's just once you actually open your mouth, you are to face only yourself. Because regardless of what I say, I either move forward with it or backwards with it. And if my decision is to move forward by not doing it, it's still moving forward. But if I say something and I kind of postpone it, then I'm moving backwards with it. Because pertaining to it, I am stepping away. But when you declare it and you throw it in the actual real world, what effectively you're doing is cluttering the real world until it's done. There's a book called Getting Things Done by David Allen, super beautiful book. And it explains how your mind kind of like holds on to like that I should have finished this task. And almost every single declaration becomes like one of those tasks that need to be done, that need to be cleared, that need to be sorted, that need to be filtered, that need to be kind of like gotten over with. I don't know. I completely agree with him. I actually did that for a while after I finished like programming my website the first time, and I went back. But it's amazing how naive. I don't know. I can tell how I can tell the difference with how my mind would actually consider things then and now. I can actually tell, but it's only because like it's, there's a certain evolution that happens in between you kind of like making a statement and finishing it. Because what you're developing is not the finished product, what you're developing it is the way to finish things. But so the minute you open your mouth, everything does fucking change, whether you like it or not. But then the true essence of who you are is what you have to deal with. Are you the coward that kind of like says something but never does anything about it? Or are you the kind of person that says something and like just puts it on the side or just does it anytime it's convenient for him? Or are you the kind of person that says something and forces themselves to do it and like I have to get it over and all that shit? And I think that's like the spectrum of like between OCD and just like complete lazy people that are not interested. Any way you look at it, that's the whole like you can literally pick up any attitude towards what do you do after you say something? What do you do after you kind of like let something out of you? What do you do after you kind of like expose yourself? What do you do when you just open your mouth? How do you explore what you said? How do you explore what kind of person you are or what kind of person says what you says? How do you engage with that person? Because ultimately your mouth said something that your mind triggered it to, and your mind has some is basing these on beliefs and on structures and on like logic and on understandings, and then slowly you're kind of like translating it, and you're building the bond between this has to be done now and this has to be done later, or this has to be said now or this has to be said later. Because the idea, again, like the stronger intention towards something, the easier it becomes for you to do it, the less friction you have. So sometimes you say something and you don't do it at all, but then why did you say it? It must have taken a lot for you to say it. And sometimes you say something and you do it instantly. You just never wanted to do it, and you go like, "Why did you say it?" Because there's no friction. It's just a whole lot of stuff that the words that we spout once we open our mouth kind of like bring to us. It just allows us to explore really how we would have preferred things to be, or to be said, or to be stated, or to be dictated is the word that I use. It allows us to kind of observe the person itself. Maybe it sounds like voice. When you say something, you're coming into the present moment. When you don't say anything, when you're doing, you're actually being present. But when you're present, sorry, maybe when you're saying you're being present, you're not being present. You're when you're doing something, you're being present, right? It's state of flow. Video doing is present. Speaking is شو اسمه is observational awareness. Can we call it observational awareness? Because when I'm saying something, I cannot get to reflect on myself. I'm reflecting not on myself, I'm reflecting on the version of me that's speaking this way. But when I'm present, I can't, speaking gets me out of myself. So I don't think that's presence. That's why the strength in like silence is very strong. But then speaking allows you to see where you are or how far you've gone and shit like this. If I think we ended on a very beautifully strong note. Talking, pertaining, presence. Cool, 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 cool. Alright, guys, it's a fucking video. But hey, okay. I just remember, man, or not, just notice it. Next time you open your mouth about anything, what's the first thing you do? You feel like you're taken aback, I guess. It's a video. Whoops. All right, bye.